Hello and welcome to Home Gupshup. It's been a beautiful and productive week for me, and I hope same was the case for you all as well. We typically experience a tremendous sense of accomplishment when the week goes productively. I will be sharing some strategies that have been helping me remain motivated and get things done throughout the day in the video today. This three-tiered box, which is typically used for storing meat and cheese slices, is used to store dhania in my case. If you're going to store coriander in this, you may want to eat it soon. Otherwise, I recommend finding another airtight container. I brought fresh coriander last evening and it was left to be chopped and stored neatly. So I did that first thing in the morning. Waking up early and getting some work done ensures I don't waste time and I begin my day fruitfully. So these small chores get done without me even realizing, and in no time, the day starts beautifully. So, whenever I'm planning my week, the first and maybe ironic thing that I do and that works for me is to mark my major weekend plans for that week in my calendar. Like, for instance, for this week, I'm going to be marking my grocery shopping day, which will be on a Friday this week. So that happens after office, and marking it really helps us remember that we have to do a certain task on that day. I will also be marking my IKEA visit for the weekend. Both of these things are fun for me, and so they make me look forward to the weekend. Even if there's something in the middle of the week that's interesting, like eating out or making something extravagant, you could consider marking it in your calendar. Calendar helps because this reminds my husband to keep those slots free, and at the same time it gives me a sense of confirmation that that particular activity is a sure shot thing to happen. Another thing that I do, which I know many of you probably already do in your head, is deciding which day is which. Depending on the week, it changes for me. So, like I decided that Wednesday was lighter on me work-wise, so I kept that day for deep dusting. Thursday for laundry, since I'd like everything to be done before the weekend hits. I also sometimes distribute my work tasks like this for the week, like editing day or maybe shooting day. I may want to change this every week. Decide on days that make most sense to you for that week. So this really helps in dividing the entire week into categories and making sure everything gets done. This morning I had plans of making some bread rolls but without deep frying them. Ever since I've got the air fryer, I usually make them in it. Having said that, nothing can beat the flavors of a deep fried bread roll. But it's also slightly trickier to make when deep frying it, since you have to make sure that the bread is sealed properly so that the oil doesn't seep in to the filling. In order to make the filling, I usually use a simple technique. Remember, I had shared a paratha masala recipe in one of my older video. I simply add that along with some more salt, kasuri methi, to make for the mixture or the filling of the bread rolls. Remember to add more spices if you wish, or even a touch of additional amchur would be really nice. In order to fill it in, we will dunk the bread into water and quickly squeeze out all of the extra water. Then place the filling balls in it and then wrap the bread around it, trying to seal it all in. This looks difficult, but it's pretty easy to do. Yes, of course, if you're going to deep fry it, then make sure it's sealed properly. I'm making a bigger batch today since we need a bit more. I sometimes even store these in the fridge to be consumed later in the day or the next day for breakfast. You could slightly fry them and store later as well. These bread rolls were my family favorite, and Papa, along with us, the kids, would request Mom to make it for us on Sundays. Sunday special breakfast was either this or dosa sambar, or sometimes a simple heavenly puri sabzi with chai. Do you have any Sunday special breakfast dishes that you or your mom makes on certain days of the week? The third thing that I always do is write my major and minor tasks for that week, sometimes on the phone and sometimes on the magnetic board. Having them in front of me seriously takes away the headache of remembering what all is pending. Each time I forget, I just go back to the list. Marking off the things that are done is such a fun way to stay positive. I like the spontaneity this kind of a list provides me. I mean, I can just pick any one task, be it big or small, that I may be feeling up for at that moment of the day. And lastly is to plan my meals. Having a meal plan does three things. In addition to helping you make your grocery shopping decisions, it also guarantees that what is already in stock is used up and prevents us from purchasing more when there are many meals that could be made with the current stock. Lastly, a meal plan eliminates the need for you or your family to ask the same question: what should I make today? Wondering what should be cooked for the day all the time is really annoying. Since it was a day off, he came there this morning to make tea. Despite the fact that it is actually morning, it appears to be night time. Anyway, we are in the thick of winter right now, and things are only going to get rougher in January. Sunlight has been scarce for days, and when it does appear, it only lasts a few hours until the sky returns to its usual gloom. This might sound a bit dull, but I swear there's something special about this season, when all the lights are turned on and the golden glow of the lights shines through every apartment window. I think I'm gonna enjoy this period while it lasts. Without realizing, my nail paints and hair ties got accumulated at one place in a drawer. I collected them in this basket to make sure I have everything in front of me before I even organize them. This is a trick you could use. Whenever you organize, first collect the things from all over the place. I usually store them in this basket with a lid, the nail paints, and keep them near the sofa since this is where I spend my spare time. I got this transparent box with divisions some time ago, and initially the plan was to place cotton swabs in it. But this idea works just fine too. Keep things organized and neat. I hope I'm able to keep it this way for a few more days. I like to fix my sofa multiple times a day. Now that it's second nature to me, I usually know just when to do it. It has become like a habit. I complete it automatically. I occasionally choose to spread ghee on the rolls instead of oil, and the air fry version comes out looking very crispy. Even though I don't have a fully decorated Christmas tree yet, I think a few tiny touches can help get in the spirit of the season. After finding these lights, we decided now would be a good moment to put them up. This is just my small way of honoring yet another holiday that brightens our lives in many little ways. New beginnings are what Christmas is all about for me. When there's a lot of joyous celebration going on, the cold weather doesn't seem to matter as much. We just choose to look past the challenges and soak in all the good vibes. Now that I had it out of the way, I could get to work on a quick and easy baked dinner meal. Some potatoes have been pre-boiled, soup on the side, and baked cheese potatoes are what I'm making for dinner. While I could bake the potatoes from scratch if I wanted to, I usually just use boiled potatoes because they are so much easier. Chop some garlic and add it to the olive oil. My personal addition to the recipe is the onions. Then add the cherry tomatoes. Although I've cut them in half, they would also be delicious intact. Tomatoes like this are incredibly luscious and tangy. Including some freshly ground pepper, salt, chili flakes, a splash of vinegar and a pinch of salt. I plan on reheating them in the air fryer for a few more minutes after the first 10 minutes, at which point I will sprinkle with cheese and bake until the cheese begins to melt. You can skip this extra step if you want to. If you prefer a crispier version, you can air fry the potatoes for 10 minutes separately in oil coated way before adding the tomatoes and the other ingredients. To accompany it, I used a pre-packaged soup. Sometimes I whip up a batch at home as well, and it's really simple to do. Ever since we got it, this coffee table has served us well. After all, we spend the vast majority of our leisure time here on this couch. Now, I installed a lazy Susan here some time ago because although the base of the table offers plenty of storage space, it was previously difficult to access, especially while seated on the sofa. So basically, I am wiping it out and restocking the biscuits and the cookies that are so useful when we have tea or coffee here. Also moving the nail polish container over here. Since there was very little left over from the gingerbread cookies I prepared the other day, I am storing the rest of them here. My version didn't come out quite as dark because I substituted honey for molasses. I spent the weekend in the Nuremberg Christmas market. After a 3-hour train journey from Berlin, we arrived late in the afternoon anticipating a vacant market. However, to our surprise, there were a plethora of people there. We were both quite hungry and wanted to go to the Christmas market before it got too busy. So after we showered at the hotel, we went straight there. We enjoyed some hot blue wine in a beautiful setting just by the water with soft twinkling lights all around. We continued onwards to the big Christmas market after this. With the exception of the food, which is obviously the main attraction, there were plenty of stores selling genuine handcrafted goods. That night was so much fun that we didn't even notice the day was almost finished. With little time to spare the next day before our train back home, we decided to visit the stunning church. To our luck, we were able to see the first Advent candle lighting, which was truly breathtaking. During the day, we also had a glimpse of the Christmas market. The beautiful stalls were a sight to behold. The market was within easy walking distance of the train station, so we made our way back home. We grabbed some tasty cake to try at the Nuremberg festival, so I'm just cutting that into slices. Our weekend trip was worth every minute, and so was the making of this vlog for me. There were some random snippets today, and I hope you wouldn't mind that. I also hope this winter brings so much joy for us all. If you like such vlogs with a little bit of everything, then I'd really appreciate if you took the time to write a small message to me in the comments section, helping me better understand what you'll all love. Until next time, here's Home Gupshup signing off. See you all next week.